It's 8:30 in the morning on Thursday, November 16th, 2023. I'm moving them to the third cell of this second section. And it's about 60 degrees right now. Today's forecast to be 69 or 70 degrees. We had a tiny bit of rain this morning, just like a mist. I don't even know if that counts as rain or not. I'm a little bit discouraged by this section, this little area. You see the thorn bushes here. That's a sign that the soil is still acidic. There's some grass growing, but not very much. You know, that's definitely spring grass. That's not Bermuda grass. Come on, number one, come across. You know how to do it. You know where to go. Ah, shoot, the ram got out. What in the world? Ah, silly ram. I guess he thinks he's a cow or something. Anyway, yeah, he was with the sheep just a moment ago. Guess he decided he'd rather be with the cows. He doesn't care much for that fence. That's not good. So the goat weed is all dead. I should probably, if I'm gonna harvest any and keep it, I should do it today before it all disappears. And there's some Dallas grass, you know. So Greg Judy was complaining, not really complaining, but identifying the fact that they're still pretty dry up there and the weather's already cooling off. They're getting frost every morning. And that's early November. So we're in mid-November, so it's probably much worse for him now. And I couldn't help but look at his fields and he's like, yeah, you got to keep your stockpiles, you got to strip graze. I'm like, I don't think, I'll be honest, I don't think any amount of stockpiling or strip grazing would have saved this particular section of my field. It just isn't good. Now, I'm not losing all hope. This is probably the worst section on the northern half of the field. There's stuff growing, it's just not growing very fast, you know. And I don't know that there's anything I can do to make it grow faster using the tools that I have. I do know that we don't have to go very far and the grass is going to be super thick there near the middle of my pasture. So, but yeah. So the cows are going to be stressed. They're not happy. They're mooing at me this morning. They're like, this grass is terrible. And then I open up this section and they're like, that's not much better. I'm like, this is what you got. My biggest concern isn't the health of the cows right now. If I thought the cows were not doing well or losing a lot of, look at this. See, something grew. Imagine having a pasture full of that. That'd be pretty amazing. That's what, at least a foot tall, if not a foot and a half. Wow. Yeah, so something grew over here. But no, my point is that right now my concern is not their health. Not that I don't care about them, or not that I'm not going to make sure they stay healthy. But it's okay for them to have a couple bad days or a bad week on their grazing. Here we go. Yeah, this is some of that residual Bermuda grass. It doesn't look as good on camera as it does in real life. This stuff is at least, like over here, it's definitely a foot thick, if not thicker. You know, very thick grass. My concern is, am I preparing the soil? What are these? I don't know what that is. Am I preparing the soil so that the grass can grow? Am I leaving enough grass behind that it can recover as quickly as possible given the conditions? Am I building up soil health, right? Because it doesn't matter how healthy your cows are, if your soil's dead, you're dead, right? And I could always sell these cows at the sale barn, you know, but if I can't grow grass, it doesn't matter what kind of cows I buy or how many I have, they're all gonna do bad on my field, and I might as well, you know, go back to computer programming. Yuck, right? So my biggest concern is, this is a good sign. I think these are worm casings. Yeah. So we have worms out here. And if worms can survive in the soil, then a whole lot of other things can survive. So I do see a bunch of little tiny leaves. I don't think they're clovers. But yeah, right now, I'm just thinking, am I gonna get much of the cool season grass growing at all this year? Or should I just basically take the cows off the grass all winter long and give my field 3 months of rest, so that whatever cool season grasses there are have excuse me, still have that cough. Whatever grasses, cool season grasses I have the greatest chance of success in the spring, right? And that's kind of the thought that I'm thinking right now. That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm thinking about. So I saw a video where the guy was talking about, you don't want sunlight to fall on dirt, right? That's wasted opportunity. And he added that your ecosystem that you're building here on the grass, there should be multiple levels, right? You have the top canopy, then you have like a mid-level, and then you have a bottom level, and levels all in between. And I think he said something like 7 levels would be the healthiest, right? So having 7 different kinds of plants that are growing and getting the sunlight. And so by the time you get to the bottom ground level where the dirt is, it's pitch black, right? Because all that sunlight's been absorbed by leaves. Plants are still nature's greatest energy collector. If you want to convert sunlight to energy, plants are the best way to do it. Now the problem is converting that energy into things that we want, like air conditioning and automotive power and things like that, and video games, right? And fortunately, biofuels are not the answer because they're so expensive to create. But there are some opportunities, such as making food, right, that these little solar collectors are really good at, and they're good at making tasty food. All right, this bull, he has a little bit of a hollow on his right side here. Let's take a look at his left side. Not as much. Anyway. So, yeah, and I'm just constantly asking myself, is this what my ground needs? Does it need more manure and more pressure from the cows, or does it need more rest, right? And obviously I'm kind of biased. I want to get the cows in the grass as much as possible. But that's my chief concern right now. And I think in this case, the cows are going to have a rough morning. They're going to be pretty upset with me. They're going to go back to earlier sections and look for more grass and not going to find much. Which tells me that I need to set up the back fence. It's not like the last section where there's so much grass they can eat their fill and chew their cud and not even think about going back to look for more grass because they have plenty ahead of them. So I think I need to do back fencing. So I need to get that set up. I need to set up a lane for the water so they can get their water. And need 3 reels to do back grazing, to do the back fencing. So I'll have to get that set up. All right, guys, that's what I'm thinking today. Also, I've noticed their manure patties are standing up. Some of the manure patties still look good. But this is a sign that they're getting too much fiber and not enough protein. And although the ruminants don't require much protein, Too much protein is not good for them at all. They certainly can't eat what we eat and be healthy. They do need a certain amount. And their protein comes from fresh grass and fresh plants. The dried plants are not, they don't have very much for the cows except fiber. So, yeah, so they're definitely probably might be thinking about getting a protein bucket for them soon if their manure keeps stacking up like this. Because I don't see any areas in my pasture where there's a ton of green grass. So the manure situation is not going to get better. Anyway, that's where I'm at, guys. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.